Engines coil and grandstands tremble. The Freedom Motorsport Alliance rolls into Hockenheim, like a storm front. 45 minutes of the German tarmac awaits them. An arena where precision matters as much as bravery, and every braking zone can rewrite the script. The GT3 field arrives armed in thunderous motor power, horsepower, razor-edged aero, and the knowledge that survival won't be enough. A mandatory pit stop hangs over the race like a tickling fuse. Time gained or lost, those precious seconds will decide who emerges as a contender and who fades into the haze of exhaust and regret. As the lights prepare to snap to green, the stadium echoes with the simple truth. At Hockenheim, freedom isn't given. It's taken one lap, one duel, one perfect stop at a time. Welcome into week number 7. This is Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me, Richard Swindells. Oh, Mike Zacher takes a header into the wall there, Rich, but welcome into Hockenheim.
Welcome in. That was quite the welcome, wasn't it, Rob? Hockenheim, always I think it's always a favorite of both of ours, and nice to see them racing here. Not a whole lot of elevation changes, but certainly very technical sections throughout. A couple of good passing opportunities. Should be a fun night.
It certainly should be. Let's take a look at the weather conditions we got here this evening before we get into qualifying. 66 degree Fahrenheit air temp. That's going to be 82 degree track temp, partly cloudy. Last I checked, no rain in the forecast. So should be a pleasant, afternoon here at Hockenheim, evening for us in the real world. So should be a ton of fun. Drivers out on track, Rich. And before we get to them, this is week 7, as I mentioned. Getting down to the nitty-gritty of the season here. Hockenheim, 45 minutes set up as per usual. Next week we're going to head to Olton Park, a drastically different track that we're seeing here this evening.
That's for sure. As we are second half of the schedule here, it's been a great season for us here, Rob. Our first season here with FMA. Really enjoyed it. We're going to go and take a look at Gustavo pulling it over. Some of the drivers finishing up their qualifying efforts. Take a look at Graham Jacobson going around now. Graham Jacobson showing us the great pace that he's had, every time we see him.
Yeah, usually a fairly competitive driver. Right now sitting in third spot in qualifying, Rich. So keep an eye on him as qualifying starting to wind down. But as things wind down, let's take a look at our championship standings heading into this one and see what our drivers are battling for here, Rich. As you see, that is the wrong championship standings. There we go. Let's get the right ones up here. There we go. Anthony Jenkins leading the way over Uncle Tank. Let's say, what do we got there? About 13-point gap between Jenkins and Tankersley. Travis Roberto, 9 points back of Tankersley. Chase Matsko there too as well, only 4 points back of him. And then Robert Milbrath rounding out the top 5. So still fairly competitive, Rich. Plenty of movement, possibility for our drivers to move up and down the championship standings.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the season, so if you're not where you want to be yet, you still got time to improve, but you got to get going because only 6 races left. I'm taking a look here at Jacob Brown completing his qualifying effort. Jacob driving the Porsche. Jacob sitting in 18th place right now, coming up into a little bit of the stadium grandstand section here. Left-hand corner, swing it out to the left-hand side. Now you've got a big sweeping right-hander leading up to this straightaway. Straightaway going up to turn 11. Turn 11 is kind of a 90-degree right-hander. Coming back inside, then it gets a little bit tough here, Rob. You got this little hairpin for turn 13. The driver's going to turn down into the curbing. You got to be careful. He's going to get out onto the grass or onto the kitty litter, and you can easily lose it through this section.
Yeah, it's that section you're just talking about where it's really tricky, Rich. It always seems to be like there's a ton of gravel that always seems to get kicked up on the track there because, as you mentioned, it's a real quick left-hand, or I guess it's a right-hand sweeping corner through there, and next thing you know, guys just drop a tire off the track and kick up a whole bunch of debris on track, and you're coming into that heavy braking section, and that gravel definitely isn't your friend. But looks like everybody that's going to put in a qualifying lap has finished up here with only 5 seconds left to go in qualifying, Rich, so we'll let them get reset here, and then we'll take a look at how our grid is going to kick off here this evening.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun race. What do we have? 25, 26 drivers or something about that, Rob? That's a very nice turnout.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rich. Can't ask for much more than that. But let's take a look at our grid here with Uncle Tank taking pole. The Anthony Jenkins to his outside on row number 1. Row number 2, we're going to find Graham Jacobson in P3 with Kyle Mavis in P4. Row 3, we're going to find Brock Morris in 5th place with Jeremy Elshman to his outside. Row 4, Anthony Sorrentino in 7th with Travis Roberto in 8th place. And then rounding out the top 10 is Anthony Bronco in 9th and Jay Davis in 10th. Who we have in row 6, Rich?
Row 6, we've got Justin Welsh in 11th with Gustavo Ferraro beside him. In row 7, Jamie MacArthur, Steven Zabster in 14th. 15th place, Jody Nielsen, Chase Matsko, 16th. On row 9, we've got Robert Milbrath. Jacob Brown is in P18. And row 10, Adam Lowe with Sean Day in P20. Row 11, we've got Madison Tankersley and Mike Zakar. Row 12, Jacob Williams with Joseph Spillman. And rounding out the field, we've got Ryan Bean and Nate Campbell.
Yeah, those are a couple drivers we haven't seen here for a number of weeks, so good to see them back. If they grid up, looks like both of them potentially starting from the pits here, Rich. But right now, 24, potentially 26 cars going to join us here this evening. Should be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, so far, pretty much all the races we've covered have been a lot of fun. We just take a look at the back of the wing of our pole sitter, Uncle Tank, is Zach Tankersley.
Uncle Tank in the Mercedes this week, Rich. We're used to seeing him in the Corvette. I think he switched it up into the Porsche one week too as well. So he's pulled out the German machinery here.
Rob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did see that on the broadcast. 30. So he's pulled out a little bit of German machinery again this week for Hockenheim, one of the German F1 tracks. It used to be in the cycle when they switched back and forth between Hockenheim and Nürburgring.
Yeah, it's no longer used for that. Not quite enough runoff areas, but it's still a great track to race on. A great track for these GT3 drivers. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of a shame. I think it would still be a great track for F1. I really enjoy Hockenheim. It's one of the F1 tracks that I enjoy. Although it's flat as all can be here, Rich, but it always seems to be a blast to drive in any car. But see how Uncle Tank does here. He has Anthony Jenkins and Graham Jacobson right there in behind him. They're going to be chomping at the bit. We know both those drivers incredibly fast, so we'll see here if Uncle Tank can hold them off.
Yeah, so far it looks like Uncle Tank is doing just that. Anthony Jenkins tucked in behind. So right now, 1-2 off to an early start. Graham Jacobson going down the inside right now. Kyle Mavis, Graham Jacobson side by side are coming in. It looks like Kyle Mavis holding him off. Jacobson, though, fighting back hard. These guys going side by side. We've got a little bit of incident going on behind, though.
Yeah, it looks like a couple cars going off track. We'll find out what happened to them. Possibly Chase Matsko and Gustavo Ferrero. Jacob Brown involved too as well. But right now the battle is up front where Uncle Tank lead the way, hold on to his pole position, Rich. He's got a ton of pressure, though, from Anthony Jenkins in that Porsche. You see Jenkins being very competitive week in, week out. And we have him on camera again this week, as usual. He's gone with more of the casual look again this week, Rich, with the T-shirt and the gloves.
It's you never know when you're going to get when we turn the cameras on Anthony. He's definitely a man with his own style, and that style changes week to week. But Anthony Jenkins, as you said, he's had great pace all season. So is Uncle Tank up ahead, and Graham Jacobson in behind. But Graham Jacobson having a good close battle with Kyle Mavis still.
Yeah, Mavis trying to put a ton of pressure on the back of Jacobson here early on. Our top four still where they qualified. We had a little movement in behind them. Elshman has moved up into 5th, dropping Brock Morris down into 6th, and Jay Davis already up 3 spots, Rich, into 7th place. Steven Zabster, though, up 5 spots, just in the top 10 in 9th place. Nice start for him.
Yeah, even further back the field, we've got people up 5-6 positions, so lots of people making big moves. As you recall, in FMA, if you podium one week, the next week you get an end-of-line penalty, so there's going to be a lot of people trying to make up some places from the back. Taking a look at Steven Zabster and Robert Milbrath in 12th. We've got a good field here, Rob, but Robert Milbrath leading around. He's got Jody Nielsen behind Travis Roberto. Travis Roberto down a bunch of positions. I think that may be from his penalties from last week. Travis Roberto trying to fight back and get up here at the front.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Roberto to see how far he can move up through the field. Right now, in 14th place, Rich, and that Lambo quickly moving through the field. A little bit of connection issue there for Travis, so hopefully that clears up. But oh no, Jay Davis, who I said was up a number of spots early on, he's wrecked and falling down quickly here, Rich.
Yeah, it's a tough stop to be. He's 180 degrees from everybody else and can't pull out in front. Jay Davis does a good job of avoiding everybody, waiting his turn, pulling it back out, and looks like just got, oh yeah, a little bit of a Porsche spin. We see that quite frequently, especially there.
Yes, those tires still trying to get up to temp, and unfortunately it just looked like it's kind of snapped, hooked around them. But let's see what happened here early on. Let's start off here with Sorrentino. So they got through turn 1, and that pack heading into turn 3 here. Richard, the fan about 3-4 wide. Oh, looks like Sorrentino was just a meat in the sandwich, got spun around. And I'm not sure who else got wrapped up in there. I think Ferraro too as well. Yeah, there he is. Chase Matsko off track too. So let's see what happened to Ferraro. I think he might have been on the outside here just trying to squeeze through, and unfortunately got wrapped up as the black and green Mustang. Trying to go to the far outside. Thought he was clear and then just got clipped a little bit by Sorrentino, and then Matsko as well, trying to take the exit route. Stage left, Rich. Didn't quite go far enough. Still got wrapped up in this mess.
Yeah, it looks like that's just Chase did all he could there to avoid everything, and that's just unfortunate.
The battle, though.
Well, back up front, though, Zachary Tankersley continuing to hold off Anthony Jenkins, Graham Jacobson. So 1, 2, 3, nose to tail. They've made a little bit of gap to Jeremy Eschman. Jeremy looks like a new driver. I don't recall seeing his name. Nice to see some new racers involved in FMA.
Yeah, welcome in Jeremy Elshman. He's getting some pressure from Brock Morris, though. Morris tried to look up the inside. Elshman was able to defend that. Morris going to have to try and find another way to get around him here, Rich. But our top 3 starting to break away. Kyle Mavis not too far back of them, down 3 spots. He's got Anthony Bronco in his sights. A couple of Mustangs battling it out here. Bronco +3, Mavis -3 on the day. So a couple drivers going 2 different directions here early on, Rich.
Yeah, it's still early, though. We've got 40 minutes left of this 45-minute race, so lots of time to make things up. Just got to settle down, get the car under control, get the nerves under control, get back on pace, and run some good, clean laps. We're only in lap 4. We're probably going to go about 28 tonight.
Looks like we got Justin Welsh in the pits already here, Rich. Not sure if he's trying a alternate strategy here, or maybe has some damage, but in early on, we'll keep an eye on that. But to pick up Travis Roberto as he continues to try and make his way through the field, looking to the inside of Mike Zakar. He's going to make that move stick. That's going to move him up into 12th place. Next on his list is Adam Lowe in the Ferrari just up ahead, that orange and black Ferrari, and then Robert Milbrath not too far up ahead of them either.
Yeah, Travis Roberto on a tear, but we come to expect that out of Travis. And a beautiful livery on this evening. That may be something new. I don't recall seeing that before. Mach 10 Motorsports at Lamborghini making another move.
It looks like we've got Uncle Tank and Travis Roberto in matching paints here this evening as we jump up to Uncle Tank. Yeah, Mach 10 Motorsports for him too as well. So we got some a couple Mach 10 Motorsports cars moving through the field very rapidly.
Whoa, and somebody going off on the back. That looks like Graham Jacobson off into the kitty litter. Graham Jacobson dropping down a bunch of spots here, Rob.
Yeah, let's see what happened to him. That quick little right-hand snap corner you were talking about, Rich. The back end of the Corvette just gave up on him. Around he went. Oh, he's going to get back on track just ahead of, I believe that was our 2 Mustangs, of Bronco and Mavis, that were battling it out. So Jacobson's going to get back on track, but he's down a number of spots.
Yeah, great job by Bronco and Mavis to avoid that and avoid catastrophe, because that would have been very, very painful. This battle continues on here between Jeremy Eschlin and Anthony Baranco. Actually, not just a battle between them. We've got 6, 7 cars in a row here, all following nose to tail, Rob. Very close racing still. Over, we're about 7.5 minutes in.
Yeah, Brock Morris leading this pack that goes all the way back to Jamie MacArthur in 9th place. So that's 3rd place all the way back to 9th place, battling it out here. Rich, Brock Morris was just able to get around Elshman into turn 1 this lap. So we'll see here now if Morris can maybe pull this pack up to Jenkins and Tankersley, who have now broken away almost 5 seconds ahead of this pack.
Yeah, Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins, you see them on the inset. Or sorry, that's not them on the inset. That's Travis Roberto, I believe. Oh, no, that's them. I'm just a little lost, folks.
It's Roberto.
Oh, it is Roberto. Well, I'm really lost now, Rob. Roberto making another move. He's on a tear. He's up to 10th place now, looking for more. He's got to go 7 more to get up near the podium. On the main screen, we've got Anthony Branco using all the track and then a bunch of the dirt, and that allows... wow, my goodness, that allows Greg Jacobson to get one of his positions back. Kyle Mavis now going off track. All kinds of gravel now on the track. Rob, that's going to be a dusty trail.
Yeah, the American machinery having a hard time staying on the track here in Germany, Rich. That's 2 Mustangs we've seen go off, a Corvette, and then unfortunately Matsko got wrapped up in the early incident too as well in the Mustang. So looks like maybe it was a smart play by Tankersley to bring out the German machinery and the Mercedes here this evening, as it looks like the American made products struggling around Hockenheim here. But he's got another German machine of Anthony Jenkins right in behind him. Jenkins looking quick. So he's fairly content right now to stay in behind Uncle Tank as they continue to pull away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, Anthony's always got a lot of pace. Right now, both their paces are basically identical. So Anthony could be just sitting there, saving a little bit of fuel, catching a little bit of draft off of Uncle Tank. Maybe leap him in the pits, Rob.
It's possible. We got another camera car here this evening too as well, Rich. One of the drivers that unfortunately got wrapped up in that turn 1 incident. He was the meat and the sandwich, still driving with no wing right now, but Anthony Sorrentino going to have a little less than optimal downforce in the back end of that Porsche.
Yeah, that's not optimal, but I like the VW logo in the back. So he's, he's definitely driving VW Group automobiles with the Porsche. Hopefully, once he comes in for his scheduled fuel stop, he realizes that they do have a free fast repair, so he can take any need repairs at no time penalty when he's in the pits.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their pit window is, when it might start to open here, Rich. I guess we're just starting the 6th lap here now, so they're probably getting close to it for any drivers that want to attempt the undercut or maybe have a little bit of damage, want to pop in and get that fixed up. But a couple drivers we saw getting wrapped up in that incident with Sorrentino here, Ferraro and Matsko. A couple of Fords as well trying to work their way through the field. They got Jody Nielsen and Mike Zakar just up ahead of them, as Zakar battling with Adam Lowe into turn 1. Looks like Zakar going to get that spot away from Lowe. That's going to drop Lowe down to 13th place. Still plus 6 on the day for him, but Mike Zakar up 10 spots. What a start for him.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to interview him last week, Rob, after podium. That's him coming up from his end of the line penalty. I was asking about that. It was his first time on the podium in the interview booth with us. He was thrilled to hang out with the fast guys, and he was graciously and looking forward to accepting his penalty. So Mike Zakar on a tear, definitely has some pace tonight.
Yeah, he's looking strong here this evening. As I mentioned, already up 10 spots. He's just past the halfway mark of the field here, Rich. So 6 laps, he's been able to get himself up towards the sharp end of the field, 2 spots away from the top 10, but he's got Milbrath and Roberto down the road. They're going to be tough customers to get around if he's able to catch them.
Yeah, and that just shows the kind of pace he's been putting on the last couple of weeks, because he's only a few seconds behind Travis Roberto, so also making his way up through the back of the field. So Mike Zakar right now looking for a little bit more, but we're going to go back up, speaking of Travis Roberto, to see where he's at now. Travis Roberto just getting that move, going around the inside at a very difficult spot to pass on Kyle Mavis. Kyle Mavis sweeping around the outside, more the optimal line, getting out onto the dirt. Travis Roberto following him behind. I think it's going to go on for another couple corners.
track limits be damned between these two drivers, Rich. Just throwing it off left and right. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, as it looks like, as you mentioned, it's going to continue on a little bit here. A little bit of V8 American muscle against, I guess you'd have to say German muscle in the Lambo, although it's an Italian brand. It's got the German. It's got the German V10 under the bonnet, I guess.
Yeah, with the Lamborghini logo though, so that makes it Italian, Rob. So we'll go on forward here. Travis Roberto going to the outside, just coming into the hairpin turn 6. Kyle Mavis protecting the inside. Roberto can now go around the long way, not be able to get anything done right there. They're going to go nose to tail, and it's going to be difficult to pass through the rest of this portion of the track. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Travis Roberto trying to stick a nose in like he did last lap.
Oh, right up on the back bumper of Mavis. See Mavis get a little squirrely there. That Mustang broke loose a little bit on him. That's going to cost him a 10th or so. We'll see if Roberto gets enough for a run here in through the stadium section to make a move here, Rich. We saw a number of Mustangs going off wide. Mavis almost drops a tire into the kitty litter there, keeps it off, but Roberto sticking the nose up the inside, but that corner's going to switch back around to having Mavis is on the preferred line here, but Roberto tries again to dive up the inside of this final corner. We saw this happen against the previous lap. It looks like Mavis can be able to defend him off one more time.
Yeah, if he's tried that move twice, I don't think that's the move. I really think he's got to set up the exit. Right now he's trying to get the pass done on entry. And oh no, Travis Roberto almost getting into the back, having to hit the brakes, sliding around, spinning. Travis Roberto's going to have to wait a second here before he gets going again.
Yeah, he's going to wait for a number of drivers. Oh, he's going to tow. Interesting. I'm not sure why he towed there. Frustrating race for Travis Roberto. He's going to tow back. Unfortunate for him. Just had that little tap on the back of Kyle Mavis, and unfortunately, iRacing seems to think if you kiss the rear bumper of the car ahead of you, that means you should lose all rear grip and spin. I hope they fix that one of these seasons, Rich, as I've been complaining about it for a number of years, and nobody seems to care. But back up front, we got Jeremy Elshman. He's trying to defend Graham Jacobson. Jacobson down a couple spots. We saw him spin early on. He's on a recovery run. Got himself back up into 5th place, still down 2 spots from where he qualified.
Down 2 spots. It's going to be tough to get up onto the podium, but it's still over 30 minutes left. We're just a third of the way through this race. Lap 9, about 28 or so. We're going to go here. Graham Jacobson staking it up the inside. Looks like Graham Jacobson getting a nice pass done there. So Graham Jacobson now only down 1 position, but he's got a Brock Morris about 2.5 seconds up the road.
Yeah, it's going to bring Barranco right into this battle too, as well, as he's caught up. Well, Jacobson and Eschleman battled it out here now. Barranco up 3 spots into 6th place. We'll see if he can put some pressure on the back of that Porsche. But our leaders, Uncle Tank, now open up a bit of a gap over Jenkins, 1.2 seconds, starting to pull away from that Porsche. Here, Rich, we'll see if Uncle Tank can continue to do that, as they're comfortably 4.3 seconds ahead now of Brock Morris in 3rd place.
Yeah, Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins, neither of them on the podium last week, so starting up front in something that certainly is advantageous. Graham Jacobson, though, you know, he had that little earlier incident, but his pace is just as fast as anybody out there. So, you know, back on board, Anthony Barranco. We got 3 coming up. Look at these 2 cars going side by side. Here we go. Anthony Barranco is having himself a great battle with Jeremy Eschleman, and side by side they go. Anthony Barranco is by Eschleman, and now he's looking to apply some pressure to Jacobson. So anything's possible here, Rob.
Yeah, see a car off to the side. I think that, I'm not sure who that was parked off on the side. Possibly Jacob Brown, maybe? No. Oh, it's Madison Tankersley. He's parked off the side, letting those cars through, so well done to her. But hop back up here, this battle between Ferraro, Nielsen, and Davis. As Ferraro holding down 11th place, but he's got a couple of Porsches trying to find their way around.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Gustavo Ferraro has shown some good pace in most of this season, but he's got Jody Nielsen, Jay Davis, both of them in behind him. And they're driving the preferred car for the German track. They're driving a German car, so Porsche is trying to attack the Mustang.
Yeah, Ferraro, we've seen him have some good races. We've seen him get wrapped up in some incidents, and unfortunately got wrapped up in that lap one incident. But Jay Davis going to pop it into the pits. I feel like we see Jay Davis pop in early. He seems to be a driver that always tries for the undercut here, Rich, so I'm not all that surprised to see him again come in early, try and relieve a little bit of pressure there, trying to get around Ferraro and Nielsen and try and leapfrog them through pit strategy.
Yeah, as long as you can come out into an open area, it can be beneficial, especially if you're being held up. But look at this little train of cars. We've got Steven Zabster in 7th. He's got Jamie MacArthur in behind him in 8th. So these two guys going side by side. Jamie MacArthur coming up the inside here. Now they're going to go side by side right now. Jamie MacArthur gets out. What a move, Rob.
Yeah, nice move by the 912 of MacArthur. Get himself up into 7th place. That's going to drop Steven Zabster down to 8th place. But both those drivers picked up 6 positions from where they started, so good race for them. But they've got Jeremy Eschleman, new driver, just ahead of him. One of the few drivers still where he qualified, Rich, in 6th place. The only other 2 right now is, 3 would be Sean Day in 20th, and then Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins, who started on the front row.
There's definitely been a lot of passing going on. Hockenheim is a nice track in that regard because there are places you can make passes. There are places that are a little dangerous to make passes, but there's certainly a couple of good passing opportunities. Take a look on board here. We've got Graham Jacobson. Graham Jacobson is closing the gap a little bit. Or he's not really closing the gap to Brock Morris, but he's got Anthony Branco about a full second behind. So right now, Anthony Branco has got about a full second ahead of Jerry Eschleman in behind him. So 3 cars spaced out about 1 second apart. So not too much going on right now. Jacobs is going to have to get some more pace going if he wants to catch Morris up ahead.
Yeah, a little Ford versus Chevy battle here. Mustang versus Corvette. Jacobson winning that battle right now. As you mentioned, Morris actually not too far down the track here, Rich. The gap was about 3.5, 4 seconds or so once Jacobson got around Barranco. So Morris been unable to pull away. We'll see if Jacobson can pick him up here in a lap or two. Last lap time for Jacobson was a 138.05, so a little slower, as Morris was a 137.97. So keep an eye on that. Right now, the quickest lap of the race is Uncle Tank, our pole sitter, up in top spot, 137.70.
Uncle Tank having once again doing what Uncle Tank does, and he also does it, Rob. You know, we saw him race the Corvette a bunch earlier on, then everybody else started running the Corvette. Uncle Tank said, nah, I'm not one of the pack, and he's trying different cars that most people aren't. I think looking at tonight, there's only 2 Mercs out there, so well done, Uncle Tank. And I'm not sure, Madison Tankersley, Rob, should we call her Aunt Tank? Is that appropriate? I'm not sure.
Aunt. You might have. I'm going to let you ask for permission on that one, Rich. You let me know how it goes.
Yeah, well, we're happy to see her out here, and I think that's the first race we've broadcast with the Madison Tankersley, who's out there battling herself. So right now, Madison in 22nd place. We're going to go back on board, though, or back to the camera angle of Jamie MacArthur. Jamie MacArthur in behind is Steven Zabster now. So these 2 drivers having themselves a good little kerfuffle here. Rob is coming into the hairpin here, about to enter, going back towards the stadium.
Yeah, they've got Eschleman. I don't know why I want to keep saying Eschleman. I apologize, Jeremy, but Eschleman just up ahead of him. So we'll see here if MacArthur and Zabster kind of stay status quo here. Rich work together to try and pull back in Jeremy up ahead of him. And then we could have a 3-car battle for 6th place. But up front, Anthony Jenkins is starting to reel back in Uncle Tank as they're starting to get into a little bit of lap traffic here. We'll keep an eye on Jenkins, see if maybe he can use that lap traffic to potentially make a move here on Uncle Tank. Or if Uncle Tank is going to be able to find his way around. What's that?
Look at those gloves on Anthony Jenkins, a little pink and black. If my colors are looking, look at that. Pretty fancy looking driver there.
They look
Just
like
look here. These guys are
they look like copies of the. Have you ever seen the Porsche 911 livery where it's marked out all the different cuts of the pig? We have the roast and the pork chops.
Oh
The
yes,
loins.
yes.
They look like copies of that. I believe that's what it is. They look like Miranda's gloves, like I've seen them posted online. But the battle continues on up front. Uncle Tank able to open up a couple tenths, utilizing that lap traffic of Sean Day in the McLaren as they moved around him.
Yeah, Sean Day doing a good job though, getting out of the way as soon as possible. That's something that is kind of expected in FMA. Sean Day, very courteous. But right now, we've got about 22.5 minutes. We're about halfway through this race. Jamie MacArthur still continuing to battle with Steven Zabster. Now Jamie MacArthur's all over the back now. Could this be... No, this is not really the best place to make a move. You want to set yourself up for a move. Maybe into turn 2 or turn 6. Down here in this section of the track, it's really hard. You can try and go up the inside, but as we saw with Travis Roberto earlier, it doesn't usually work out so well.
Yeah, take a look at the last few lap times from these drivers here, MacArthur and Zabster. You can see 3 out of the last 5 laps, MacArthur's been a little quicker. I think that lap 12, where he was a little slower, I think that's where they just got wrapped up a little bit. As we see Zabster going to go around. He holds onto it, though, doesn't spin, but that's going to allow MacArthur through. We'll see now if he's able to chase in Eschleman up ahead. Steven Zabster now going to have to play the role of the dog chasing the rabbit.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult losing all that momentum. And a good job of crash avoidance with Brock Morris in for his scheduled service. Brock Morris going to take a load of fuel, get himself enough to get to the end, and see how it goes for the remaining 21 minutes of this race.
Yeah, it looked like maybe taking some tires. Not sure if he's just taking maybe fronts, Rich, but the car went up on the jack stand, so we'll keep an eye on that. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head whether Hockenheim is it a real abrasive track on the tires or not, but we'll see if any of the other drivers opt to take maybe fronts or 4 tires. But the battle up front, still status quo here, still about 8 tenths separating these 2 drivers. Now, the strategy comes into play here. Is Anthony Jenkins staying in behind Uncle Tank on purpose, Rich, and potentially trying to save some fuel just to leapfrog Uncle Tank through pit strategy?
Well, that's what I'd be doing if I had enough pace to stay with him and save fuel, but I don't, Rob. I'd be full out just trying to stay that close. We will find out as time goes on, though. Quite often with Brock Morris, we saw him up on the jack stands. Sometimes your pit crew doesn't get it quite right, and they put you up on the jack stands to fuel, so I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Morris didn't take anything in the way of tires, and just the pit crew decided to jack him up there to make him wait in the air.
Yeah, it's a good point. I've sometimes it's just the replay screen on iRacing does some weird things sometimes, like you mentioned, Rich. So take a look. Brock Morris's pit stop time in his stall was 15.4 seconds. So that's not enough for 4 tires, but it is definitely long enough for 2 front tires. So have to look and see how that compares with the rest of the top 10 or so once they start coming in for fuel. We've had another couple of drivers pop in, and they're in the 13 to 16 second range, so he's right in there. But this battle between Matsko and Milbrath, as Matsko's going to make the move around Milbrath, get himself up into 12th place.
That was quite the impressive move by Chase Matsko after that early off-track collision, unfortunate for him. Battling back hard and looking to get himself into the top 10.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on how he does. We're getting a couple more drivers coming in for their service. Jody Nielsen has come in. So we got about half the field has completed their fuel stop here, Rich. See here where Jody cycles back out, but our leader, Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins, still out there, but they're getting heavy into some lap traffic here. It looks like they got Jacob Williams just ahead of them in the Aston, as well as I think maybe Joseph Spillman too as well. So a couple cars are coming up on here. Ooh, Williams went real out wide to let Uncle Tank through. Well done to him. Sometimes you just have to go off a little bit of line. Don't really want to throw your race off going out in the grass. Next thing you know, you're sliding into the wall. But here comes Uncle Tank and Anthony Jenkins in for this fuel cycle here, Rich. So we'll keep an eye to see if maybe Jenkins is able to capitalize, as we were wondering.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I was them, I'd be coming in for fuel now, get away from all of the lap traffic, but this could be the end of the pit window. So right now, the top three drivers are in the pits. Actually, Jeremy Eschleman has stayed out, so I guess he's got a little more fuel than everybody else. Jamie MacArthur also staying out, so Steven Zabster staying out. So I guess they had another lap. They came in to avoid the traffic. That might be a good call. Whoa,
There we
Anthony
go.
Jenkins getting the jump and out ahead of Zach Tankersley.
Yeah, 14.9 seconds in his stall to 16.65 for Uncle Tank. So Uncle Tank has some work to do now. We know he has the pace, put it on pole, led the majority of the race. Well, he's led all the race up to this point with just under 18 minutes to go. We know Uncle Tank has some pace. Now, can he chase down Jenkins and get himself back into top spot? He's got 17 and a half minutes to do it.
Yeah, that's plenty of time. It's just a matter of patience and getting through traffic, because there's going to be traffic. This isn't the biggest track, and we've got 26 cars in tonight. So Uncle Zach, and not having Uncle Zach, Uncle Tank, Uncle Zach, and Mr. Tankersley, we'll call him what you will, the man in the Mercedes. He's down to about almost a full second now to Anthony Jenkins ahead. Brock Morris is sitting in behind him. Brock Morris is about 2.5 seconds behind. So Brock Morris closing the gap a little bit as well.
Yeah, Brock Morris came in, it was about 2 laps or a lap and a half before our leaders came in, and it looks like he was able to utilize that outlap, get his tires back up to temp a little quicker than Tankersley and Jenkins and close in that gap a little bit. But right now, it looks like the loser through the pit cycle, unfortunately, was Graham Jacobson. 1 minute and 14 seconds on and off pit road, 55 seconds in his stall. Rich, it looks like he got a speeding penalty.
Yeah, definitely. That kind of time can only mean one thing. The pit crew was just snoozing and didn't want to do any work, or he got a speeding penalty in the pit. So last of our drivers in the pits now, though. We'll find out where everybody it plays out once the cycle finishes. Right now, though, our leader is Anthony Jenkins with Uncle Tank behind Brock Morris. And then we have Jeremy Eschleman. Coming out next will be Jamie MacArthur, Steven Zabster, and Anthony Sortino.
Yeah, Uncle Tank closing the gap down fairly quickly here on Jenkins. Had it down to just under a second, but looks like in a straight line. Looks like that Porsche able to pull away a little bit from the Mercedes, and actually Brock Morris in the Corvette actually closed up a little bit here on Uncle Tank. So not sure if Uncle Tank was maybe serving a slowdown still, maybe went wide through turn 1, but lost a ton of time on the leader, and unfortunately he's fallen back into the clutches here, Brock Morris. So he's gonna have to go on the defensive here now, Rich. We've seen him on the offensive, but he's got definitely a strong player here in Brock Morris to try and hold off.
Oh, no! Nice save by Uncle Tank. That car was almost into the wall. Tremendous effort, but Brock Morris saying thank you very much. P3 is good, but P2 is even better.
Yeah, we'll see if Uncle Tank here can regroup, find a little more pace, but just behind them we got Steven Zabster and Jamie MacArthur battling it out. That is sort of 5th and 6th place. So a strong race. Both those drivers up 8 spots where they qualified. So nice run for them. But Chase Matsko in behind them into the top 10 now for Matsko into 9th place. He's got Mike Zakar just ahead of him. We'll see here if Zakar can make that Porsche ultra wide. He's up 14 spots. You mentioned last week he was happy to get that end of line penalty, Rich. He's doing well with it so far.
Yeah, definitely showing a lot of pace and doing a great job coming up from the back. But Chase Matsko looking to avenge his first lap issues that he had, not through, or it might have been second lap, not through any fault of his own. These two drivers having a good battle, but also a great battle up here. Jamie MacArthur having himself a fabulous effort. They're going side by side with Anthony Sortino. Right now, we've got Jamie MacArthur, Anthony Sortino side by side, and Steven Zabster just up ahead.
Yeah, they're going to battle it out here for 5th, 6th, and 7th. And then they got that battle in behind them. A little ways back, though, between Matsko and Zachary. You can see that on the inlay. Matsko was able to get around Mike Zakar, but looks like Zakar trying to fight back here, Rich. Much like Sorrentino trying to look to the inside of MacArthur, but unable to do it. So battles up and down the top 10.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. 21.5 minutes through this race. We're on lap 19 of about 28 or thereabouts. This is a timed race, but Jamie MacArthur having himself a very good effort, up 7 positions. Steven Zabster up 9 positions ahead of him. So Two drivers battling hard. Anthony Sorrentino still in 7th. That's where he started.
Now remember, we saw him get involved in that wreck in turn 2 on lap 1, lost his rear wing, Rich. He drove around until, when did he come in for his pit? Until lap 6. He was able to get in the fuel window, came in, got his rear wing slapped back on, and he's back out on track and got himself in 7th, back up into 7th place where he qualified. So heck of a night here right now for Anthony Sorrentino.
Definitely. I mean, that is a great recovery effort. I just hope he has enough fuel to get to the end of this race. We'll find out in just, I don't know, about 13 minutes time or thereabouts. Anthony Sorrentino in 7th. We've got Jamie MacArthur up ahead. Steven Zabster. Those are the closest 3 cars on track. Nose to tail as we go through on lap 20 now.
Yeah, all 3 of these drivers fairly competitive on lap times. All of them with their best lap time of 138.12 for MacArthur, or Zabster, sorry, 138.16 for MacArthur, and 138.24 for Sorrentino. So not much between them, barely a 10th between the 3 of them in their quickest laps here, Rich. So very competitive between them. It's going to come down to who makes a mistake or who can force a mistake, because it looks like Madison Tankersley off at the end of the straight here. She's going to get it turned around, back on track. It's a sharp-looking paint job on that thing.
Yeah, very sharp. I didn't know that Porsches are really rusting quickly, though, Rob. That is, I mean, that was a pretty new model, and in all that rust, I'd be looking for a warranty on that. But Steven Zabster continuing to hold off Jamie MacArthur and Anthony Sorrentino. Man, these guys have been just going at it, nose to tail for lap after lap after lap, and doing a great job. It's really, there's nobody ahead. You know, they're 11 seconds to the guy ahead, 5 seconds back to Chase Matsko behind. So these 3 drivers are going to battle it out. It looks like they're going to battle it out to see who gets 5th.
Yeah, they got a little bit of lap traffic just ahead of them now, Rich. So we'll see how that plays into this. And maybe one driver can get through the lap traffic a little quicker than the others. Looks like that is the Porsche of, I believe, Joseph Spillman up ahead. He's going to pull off to the right side and let them through. Well done, as we see Sorrentino giving the old razzle-dazzle to the lap car, letting them know battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th coming through. As Sorrentino's falling back a little bit off the back of MacArthur and Zabster. A rough last sector there for Sorrentino.
Yeah, it's not. Hockenheim's not the biggest drafting track, but it certainly is advantageous to get a little bit of draft wherever you can. Right now, Sorrentino in danger of falling off that, but lots of time left, and look at that, he closed it right back up as I was saying that. So you know, he did a good job. These 2 guys battling up ahead let him get back into the race.
We're starting to see a battle for top spot.
Whoa.
As Brock Morris, Zabster going a little off track there, almost took MacArthur, almost followed him right off there, Rich.
Oh no!
Oh, Sorrentino is around. Unfortunate for him. See him there working the wheel, trying to get it straightened back out. He's going to have to do a little bit of an Austin Powers 5-point turn to get that thing back on track. So, unfortunately, a rough midpoint of the race here for him after a nice recovery from that early lap 1 incident.
I love that in-car camera that we got to see of the driver cockpit and seeing his facial reaction. Not happy was Anthony Sorrentino, but thank you very much, Anthony, for sharing your camera with the viewers at home and us here. So we got another spinner going on in back there, but Steven Zabster now has opened himself a decent gap on Jamie MacArthur. So we've got, we've got Eshelman is in 4th. He's got himself a big gap to Zabster. Jamie MacArthur is 2nd half behind, so Chase Matsko now is the next closest car behind them. He's 2.5 seconds back, so these 2 cars. Brock Morris all over the back of Anthony Jenkins, so Brock Morris showing some great pace. This is a battle for the lead, folks.
Yeah, Brock Morris last few laps has been really chasing and hunting down Anthony Jenkins up ahead. So again, potentially 2 front tires for Brock Morris on his service there, Rich. I wonder if that if he did actually take those 2 front tires, and that's where he's finding this pace from right now, where Anthony Jenkins potentially no tires on his stop and starting to feel a little bit of understeer on the front end. But we've got 8.5 minutes to go here. That's going to be roughly probably another 5 laps or so in this race, with them doing just over 1.5 minutes laps. So still plenty of time for Morris to try and snatch away that spot from Jenkins, and it's still plenty of time for Jenkins to have to defend.
Yeah, lots of racing left to go. We are on a lap at 23 right now. Like you said, just over 8 minutes to go. Closest battle on track is the battle we're showing right now. This is the battle for the lead, folks. Brock Morse applying all kinds of pressure to the back of Anthony Jenkins. Brock Morse last lap time was half a second faster than Anthony's. It's all well and good to catch up to the guy, but you got to get by.
Yep. See how wide Jenkins can make that Porsche here now as he's under a ton of pressure from Morse. Morse really good on the brakes, really closes that gap in, but we know the Porsche can get out of a corner well with all that weight over the back end of the car. Once you get it pointed to where you want to go, you just hammer that throttle down, away you go, Rich.
As long as you don't hammer it too quickly when you're on the curbing, because then it can go around on you. And Anthony Jenkins' tires must be just screaming in pain after the amount of hard racing he's done over the last 38 minutes. Brock Morris, though, still about 4 or 5 tenths back, hasn't been able to get close enough to make a move. Uncle Tank, he's still in the battle. He's sitting in 3rd place. He's on a podium looking at an end-of-line penalty, but he'd really like to get back up with these guys. It's not going to happen, though, unless they start getting into some argy-bargy, as you say, Rob.
Yeah, there's a potential for it. Uncle Tank, the last couple laps, he's ran about half a second quicker than both these drivers up ahead. So he has that clear area. You can see them up ahead. So he's got that carrot ahead of him to chase after it, Rich. But as you mentioned, if Morris can get in there and start battling with Jenkins and both of them slow down half a second to a second a lap, that would put Uncle Tank right back into this battle here. And he's still got lots of time. Still 6.5 minutes to go. Rich, there's still plenty of time for Uncle Tank to potentially be a factor here in the win.
Well, we've become accustomed to see these drivers, Anthony Jenkins, Uncle Tank, on the podium spots. Brock Morris, we've seen him up there as well. So definitely 3 of the faster drivers here at FMA, and certainly the 3 of the fastest tonight. Brock Morris has come through the hairpin, applying all kinds of pressure to Anthony Jenkins, letting him know he's there. Not ready to make a move yet, but closing that gap back down, trying to get within range somewhere where he can stick a nose in the next few minutes, next couple of laps.
Yeah, it looks like the Corvette seems to be a little better in the braking, or Brock Morris is taking a little deeper into the braking zone, but Jenkins counters with strong pace out of the corner. He's been able to hold on to that gap, keep it solid anywhere between 4 tenths to about 5-6 tenths, but see him drop a couple tires off into the dirt, kick up a little bit of dust. That's going to let Morris close in a little bit here now. So Jenkins definitely doing a little bit of mirror driving. It's always tough when you get that car in behind you, Rich, not to look in the mirrors. You really want to know where he is, want to know whether he's going to dive to the left or right of you. So it makes it tough to really focus on your lines up ahead. But Jenkins right now needs to just kind of focus at that windshield, forget about what's in his mirrors and behind him, and put down his hot laps.
Oh, definitely, but it's easier said than done, and Anthony Jenkins using all of the track. I mean, that is the fastest way around Hockenheim here, folks, but you got to be careful once you get out onto that dirt, because you dip 2 wheels on the dirt, the car can easily go around, especially as a Porsche. Take a look at Jay Davis. Jay Davis sitting in 9th place. He's up 1 position. He's got Robert Milbrath up ahead. Robert Milbrath in 8th is up 9 positions on the day, having himself a good race. In the inset, we still following the leaders, Anthony Jenkins and Brock Morris. On the main screen, we've got Robert Milbrath and Jay Davis.
Yeah, these are our 2 closest battles on track. So Davis trying to take away 8th spot from Milbrath. Unable to do it right now, as we've seen the Mercedes. Milbrath, our only other Mercedes driver here this evening, but right now they look like they're the one of the cars to have. A ton of Porsches in the field, a lot of Fords, and a couple Corvettes, and the 2 Mercedes. Not a whole lot of variation in the car manufacturers here tonight, Rich, but the ones that we do have showing some strong pace.
Yeah, in FMA, I believe the drivers are allowed to switch cars at will. They don't have to run the same car for the whole season. As we take a look at this battle here, Jay Davis, Robert Milbrath, we're running out of time. We're on lap 25. We've got just 3.5 minutes to go, so probably a couple, 2-3 laps left. That's about it. Robert Milbrath holding off for the time being Jay Davis.
Head back up to the front. That gap, it was as close as it's been, about 2/10 heading into turn 1, and then a little slower exit through turn 1 for Morris. Allowed Jenkins to hold on to that spot, but we're getting down, what, we got about 2 laps here, Rich, maybe? Is that what's showing on your timing and scoring?
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to go 28 laps. We're on lap 26, so we got 2 more laps after this one, if I am correct, but I've been wrong before.
You never admit it, though, Rich. You never admit when you're wrong. This battle continues on through the Parabolica straight. Morris doesn't show a nose on the inside there. Wondering how long he's going to wait here, Rich, before he really starts to get aggressive and try and force a mistake on Jenkins up ahead of him. Do you wait till the last lap? Do you start to try and do it on the second last lap? When would you start your assault here on first place?
Right now, because we're not at a high speed drafting track like Spa or whatever else. This is a more technical track, tougher to pass. I'd be anytime if you get up there, stick a nose in as Brock Moore's using all the track, then a little bit of the dirt, trying to apply pressure, but that's costing him a few tenths. Anthony Jenkins liking what he's seeing in his rearview mirror. Don't have to drive defensive when the driver's 0.8 of a second behind you.
Absolutely, and when he's dropping the tire off in the dirt, you know you're forcing him to really push. So Jenkins doing what he needs to do here. Across the line they go. It's going to kick off lap 26 here, Rich. So as you mentioned, 2 more laps to go. And we'll see who can take week 7, who's going to earn their end-of-line penalties for next week in Oulton Park, which is going to be a difficult track. Real tough to pass around Oulton Park. You don't have the runoffs. If you make a mistake, you go off in the grass. Those outside walls come up pretty quick.
At Oulton. Oh.
Yeah.
I just did a race about a week and a half ago at Oulton Park, and I usually enjoy that track. It didn't go so well for me, though. That was my problem. I didn't prepare. It was in the rain in an open wheel car, and my first lap in the rain was in qualifying. So back on board with Anthony Sorrentino. Anthony Sorrentino also flashing off some nice looking gloves. Rob, I'm doing a little glove fashion show here. Anthony Sorrentino in 10th place, down 1, but he's got up into the battle here. He's battling here with Jay Davis, Robert Milbrath. So after that little earlier incident, Anthony Sorrentino looking for a little more and starting to apply some pressure.
And he's holding the final spot in the top 10. Obviously, he'd like to try and take away those spots from Davis and Milbrath, but on a recovery run here, a little bit of smoke up ahead of these drivers. Not sure who the lap traffic is up just ahead, kicking a little bit of dust and dirt up, but we see Morris. He's closed that gap back down. Rich had a rough end of lap 26. And we'll see here as he comes around to finish up lap 27 as they pick up the white flag, what Morris has here to offer for Jenkins. Barney waving the white flag into turn 1 they go. When does Brock Morris attempt his move?
Well, I think Brock Morris is attempting his move for the last several laps, just hasn't been able to get it done. Anthony Jenkins has been doing a fantastic job, just clean, consistent racing, keeping on track, keeping his lines clean. Take a look back what happened here with Robert Milbrath. Robert Milbrath still having that battle a little bit earlier. Oh, look at that. Jay Davis. Going inside the catch, and that allows Anthony Sorrentino to take advantage, move up to 8th place.
Yeah, we said Sorrentino was trying to recover after that run, and he'd love to get those 2 spots away from him, and they just gave it to him. So he won't be all that sad about that, I wouldn't imagine, Rich. But the battle up front, Morris trying to find a way around. He's running out of opportunities here. Jenkins doing exactly what he needs to do. Keep that car in behind, making that Porsche as wide as he can. See here now, Morris really going to have to try and commit to ascend if he wants to make a move, and then potentially only maybe 1 more overtaking opportunity here, Rich.
It's running out of time. Anthony Jenkins, very confident, in showing a great display of consistency and not driving in the mirrors. Brock Moore's trying to apply pressure, but he's running out of time. It's really hard on this section to make any moves. We've seen Travis Alberto earlier try to make the move up the inside. That didn't work because you need that corner exit speed. Anthony Jenkins doing a great job. Brock Morris is applying all kinds of pressure, but he's just run out of time to come around the final corner, down the final straightaway. Anthony Jenkins going to take this one home, folks. It looks like Anthony Jenkins ahead of Brock Morris in second.
heck of a battle there in the last lap. Brock Morris gave him everything he could. Uncle Tank going to come home in third place. New driver Jeremy Eschleman going to finish up in fourth. Nice run for him, up 2 spots from where he qualified. And it looks like rounding out the top 5, Steven Zabziter. Nice run for him again too as well, Rich. 9 spots gained on the day for him. Chase Matsko rushed through the field up 10 spots into 6th place. But our big mover of the day, Mike Sakar, 7th place, 15 positions gained on the day.
Yeah, Mike Sakar showing that he has pace, and he showed it last week. I think he's going to be somebody to watch as the season progresses.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Anthony Sorrentino going to come across the line in 8th place. Graham Jacobson going to come across in 9th place. Rough race for him. Had potential early on. Unfortunate speeding penalty in the pits dropped him back. Jody Nielsen going to round out our top 10.
Yeah, Gustavo Ferraro is finished. Sorry, I'm a little off here. We're Justin Welsh coming across in 14th. I think Justin Welsh is going to round out the field.
And Justin Welsh will be the final car on the lead lap. But I believe we still got a couple cars on track finishing up. Looks like Jacob Williams. He's going to finish up on track. Our lone Aston driver here this evening. The 007 machine across the line he goes. He's going to finish up in 18th place, and that should make the race official.
It should. We will find out shortly if we are right, folks. It's been a fabulous race. What a great battle for the lead. I mean, that was awesome.
Absolutely. When all is said and done, Anthony Jenkins takes top spot 1/10 over Brock Morris in 2nd place. Uncle Tank going to have to settle for 3rd after starting on pole. Jeremy Eschleman in 4th. Steven Zabziter rounds out our top 5. Chase Matsko in 6th with Mike Sakar in 7th. Sorrentino, Jacobson, and Nielsen round out your top 10 with Robert Milbrath, Anthony Bronco, Justin Welsh, Gustavo Ferrero, and Adam Lowe rounding out your top 15. A few cars a lap down here, Rich. We've got Sean Day, Jay Davis, Joseph Spillman, Jacob Williams round out our cars laps down in 19th place. And then unfortunately some drivers who didn't see the checker flag: Jamie MacArthur, Madison Tankersley, Kyle Mavis, Jacob Brown, Travis Roberto, and then Ryan Bean and Nate Campbell. We didn't see them on the grid, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately not, but it was a lot of fun. We like Hockenheim, and the FMA drivers put on a good show. Great race tonight.
Absolutely. Well, we've got, let's see if we can grab a couple drivers here for some interviews, Rich, and then we'll find our closing thoughts here. Let's bring in our race winner, Anthony Jenkins, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Anthony, congratulations on the victory tonight.
Hey, thanks, guys. That was a tough one. Brock was a rocket ship. Really, Zach and Brock were both fast tonight.
Yeah, it looked like they were giving you lots of pressure, but man, you made that move on. You made that move in the pits, making that take the lead, and you seem to be quite confident. They are applying, Brock was applying all kinds of pressure, but you didn't blink.
Yeah, I knew how much trouble I had trying to get past Zach, so I figured as long as I didn't make a big mistake, Brock wouldn't be able to get by. It's really tough to pass around there. So I figured just keep it between the lines, and I'd be able to keep him behind me.
That was a good job. Yeah, I saw a couple times maybe you dipped a couple tires off into the dirt, but managed to keep everything well under control. I must compliment you. Love the racing gloves you have, Anthony. Just love them. We got a good shot of them on camera and during some live racing action. And man, you never disappoint us with your different fashion week to week and your impressive driving.
I try to keep it fun. Try to keep it fun. How'd you like the pit lane move, though?
It was fabulous, just like everything. We're looking forward to seeing what you do next week at the Alton Park, coming from the back of the pack. Anybody like to thank tonight, Anthony?
As always, I want to thank you guys. Thank everybody who puts the league on, and my wife for putting up with this nonsense.
Oh, right on. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
So that was Anthony Jenkins, our race winner here, round 7. Let's see if we can snatch Brock Morris, our P2 driver, out of the chat there. Brock, welcome in. A heck of a race there. You're able to charge up 3 spots where you qualified. Put a charge at the end there to try and get around Anthony Jenkins. Do you think if you had one more lap, you might have been able to get around him?
I don't know. It's hard to tell because I felt like I had a really nice run going right after the pit cycle. I did some stuff with the tires, got back out, and was able to make quite a bit of pace. But once I got to him, I just really felt like I stalled out. And so I'm not really sure how much one more lap would have done. But at the end of the day, it was 45 minutes, and that's how it went. But I'm still pretty proud of that result.
Now, can you answer a question for us? You just mentioned tires. We saw you go up on the jack stands in the pits. Did you take front tires, or was it just a iRacing glitch that showed you up on the jack stands?
I'm not sure if I want to answer that question.
He's pleading the fifth, Rob. He's pleading the fifth.
It was a glitch. It was a glitch.
Next week we head to Olton Park. You have an end-of-line penalty if you show up for that one. How do you feel about the tight confines of Olton Park, GT3 machinery, trying to make your way through from the back of the field?
I'll be honest, I've never done that track, so I'm kind of on the back foot for that one. But yeah, I am looking forward to a challenge, and if I can make it next week, yeah, contending for hopefully a top 5 podium coming from the back.
Excellent stuff. Well, before we let you go, Brock, any shout outs you want to give to anybody at home watching?
Yes, sir. First of all, shout out Anthony. Great win tonight. Kettering Esports, Corn Dog Designs, Revved Up Racing, and yeah, my parents back at home.
Excellent. Well, best of luck if we see you next week, Brock. If not, even better luck next time we catch you on track.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thanks, you too.
That was our second place finisher, Brock Morris. Let's see if we can grab Uncle Tank here to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, Uncle Tank. Congratulations on, once again, another podium.
Thank you, guys.
Looks like the pits did you in tonight. The Anthony jumped you in the pits, and Brock was right there as well. A little too much fuel, was it? Or the Merc just burned a little more than the others?
No, he jumped me in the pit lane, and I was just irritated after that.
Well, that's rather unfortunate, but sometimes that's the worst enemy when we're out here racing. And but you've had a great season, and you've had a great season in many cars. We saw you in the Audi last week. We've seen you in the Corvette many times. The Mercedes tonight. What are we going to see next week?
Well, I planned on sticking in the Audi, and Chase told me that they were looking to move the Audi to a legacy car. So I figured I'd find another car to run. So I guess I'll be running the Mercedes.
Well, it's a beautiful livery, and it was nice to see that we had another Tankersley in the race tonight. First time on our broadcast at Racer Nexus. So once again, you're bringing the talent and you're bringing the drivers. We look forward to seeing you next week. Anybody you'd like to thank, Zach?
As usual, my wife and FMA.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you next week, and I assume we'll see you in that beautiful Mach 10 Motorsports Mercedes.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Zach.
That was our final step on the podium, Zach Tankersley, and sounds like Uncle Tank, unfortunately, a little disappointed in his showing here this evening. Rich, I think putting it on pole, he was hoping for a better result. A little bit frustrated there. So we'll see if he can regroup. He's going to have to fight back from the back at Olton Park, which, as we've mentioned, can be a little bit of a struggle. It's a track that doesn't have a whole lot of overtaking opportunities, doesn't have a whole lot of track width to really dive up the inside, go 2x2 with another car. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be insane, and I predict many cars off track in turn one. I think we're going to see a lot more cars off track than we saw tonight.
Oh, you're predicting the carnage will unfold at Olton Park.
I didn't say carnage, just cars off track. You can get back on track, but there's going to be cars going wide on corner one. I speak from experience last week.
Well, if you want to check in and see how that goes, we'll be live next week, Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, or sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern, correction, as we normally are. You can find us here on Racers Nexus. And before we go, if you're looking for a 5% discount code on any kind of sim racing products, from wheels to button boxes to wheelbases to rigs and computers themselves too as well, Apex Sim Racing, you find yourself a 5% discount code in the description of the video. Use that as well as a referral link. Get yourself a little discount on anything they sell in store. And then all the great camera angles have been brought to you tonight by Track Cams for Gourmets, trackcams22.com. We thank them too as well. So that's it for us. Next week, Alton Park for round number 8 as we start to get to the end of the season. For Richard Swindell is in the booth with me. I'm Rob Campbell. This is Racers Nexus. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place. Bye for now.
And good night.